Have you ever wondered what the most expensive setup in Hypixel Skyblock is? I definitely have. I mean, my setup's relatively expensive. It's got Hyperion, Storm, but it's definitely nowhere near the most expensive setup. So let's take a look at the most expensive setup. By setup, I mean like accessories, one set of armor, one full hotbar of tools, and stuff like that. We're not going into entire inventory or anything like that, but just your accessories, a full hotbar, and a full set of armor based on things you would actually use. Nothing like stupid and pointless, but the most expensive, actually useful setup and how much that would cost. If you guys have any recommendations on how the setup could be improved, let me know, because if this video does well enough, I'll make a part 2 with all of those recommendations on how you think it could be improved. So first off, for your armor set, we're not going with exotics, because that's not something that you'd get just based on pure usefulness, but instead a max Necron chestplate, max Necron boots, maxed Necron leggings, and a Doctor's space helmet, which you technically could actually use. It's not an exotic or anything like that, and it is kind of stupidly expensive, but it is theoretically useful, if only for flexing on people. And that already brings our total cost of this setup close to 2.4 billion coins, because, you know, most of that is coming from the Doctor Space Helmet, but already max Necron armor is pretty expensive, coming in at around like 150 million coins average per piece. And by maxed, I'm meaning fully with the 4 Master Stars and 5 normal stars, good enchants and recon, and all the stuff like that. So yeah, pretty expensive, but of course Doctor Space Helmet takes the cake, with the most recent one being sold for pretty close to integer limit. Next, let's talk about what you'd have in your hotbar. First of all, we're going to give you a maxed Terminator for 820 million coins. Actually, that price has even risen now, with the cheapest max Terminator being 876 million coins. But, surprisingly, that's not going to be the most expensive thing in this hotbar, because shockingly, the price of Necron blades has absolutely skyrocketed in recent times, because fewer people are playing at floor 7, so actually our Necron blades are going to be the most expensive, with our Hyperion or Scylla taking the cake for one of the most expensive items in the hotbar. Our maxed Hyperion that we're going to be buying will cost us just over 1 billion coins. And we're not only going to want one of these. You will want your Hyperion or Scylla as your damage weapon, but we're also going to give you an Astrea just for healing. Because, you know, while that is completely overboard, you know, why not? Just in case you need that extra little bit of health. You never know. It could technically come in useful. The next thing we're going to talk about is a completely maxed out Talisman Bag. For the price of 1.45 billion coins, which is kind of insane, you can have a completely maxed out Talisman Bag. And that is just an estimate. I didn't go and add up every single talisman's current cost, so let me know if there's any flaws with that. But I'm pretty sure that's about what it would cost currently to have a full maxed Talisman Bag. Next, let's talk about your pickaxe, and that's going to be a Devon's Drill. Is this definitely overkill? Yes, but a maxed Devon's Drill will set you back 1.4 billion coins about, in terms of having all of the things you're going to want. Right here you can see a pretty maxed Devon's Drill for 1.45 billion coins. Will you ever really need to use all of this for most things besides mining? Probably not, but you know, you can never be too safe with this very, very expensive setup. As far as useful things you're going to want is going to be a maxed Plasma Flux, which is just kind of the best power orb you can get, for a cost of 324 million coins, which is definitely a lot. We can also throw a recom in there to get it slightly higher. And, of course, you will also want a completely maxed out Toil Tree Capitator. And with all of the enchants on this, including Turbo Cacti, Pumpkin, and Cocoa, as well as everything else that has been put on this stupid maxed instead of this, which basically does all of the same things, we're going to go for 200 million coins on one of the most expensive axes on the auction house. Because, you know, why not? You might as well do it, even though it's completely pointless. You're also going to want a completely maxed farming tool, just in case you have to do any farming. And for that, with like a billion collection, we're going to give you 100 million coin valuation. For your maxed out farming tool, this is only a 1025 million collection, but you know, you can get pretty high because some people have farmed for insane amounts of time. You're also going to want, as far as your final inventory slot goes, an Infinity Boom TNT, just because why not? These aren't that expensive. but they definitely tack on a little bit to the price. For 38.9 million coins, you can never have to buy Super Boom TNT again, and that's also a useful thing to have in your hotbar at basically all times, because why not? It's very useful. And finally, as far as your pet slot is concerned, you are going to want, what's the most expensive pet in the game? It's the Golden Dragon. I don't think there is even one on the auction house right now. There is not one on the auction house right now, but they cost, the last one was sold for around 557 million coins, which is kind of ridiculous for a pet. Why would you get this? I don't know, but it's up to people what they do with their money. So the total price of this entire setup would be just over 9 billion coins. 9,073,483,647 coins. So, if you did enjoy this video, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye. That was ridiculously pointless.